What's going on, Alabama Nation? It's your boy, Coach Smoot, Coach Jay, and Coach Sean from Huntsville with your crew. We are the Monday Night Quarterback crew with the coaches here on Bama Football on YouTube. Welcome in, y'all. A lot of calmness and a lot of settled, spirits now, after that victory against against Tennessee by our Crimson Tide. Coach Sean, Coach Jay, how y'all feeling tonight? Starting with Coach Jay, how you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling it. Well, no, I can't lie. I'm not feeling good after yesterday, man, losing to the New England Patriots to Bill O'Brien. That was not a good day. Saturday was great. I woke up a little bit today, sadness, but then I was back on high spirits. I just said it backstage, but I was arguing with Tennessee fans all night, or all day, and it's been great. It's been great, man. I got called every name in the book that you potentially imagine. I'm like that. I cannot say unless you again follow me on Jan Sports if you want to see the more uncensored version, because I'm going to go into detail exposing all of it. But no, overall wise, it was fun, man.
Man.
So
Hey.
yeah, I can't wait to just keep talking about this Tennessee game, and and we can just continue to move on.
Facts. What's going on, Coach Son? How you feeling today after that victory Saturday, brother? Oh, he lagging a little bit. Coach Son, you there? I think you might need to go back out and come back in, brother. Can't hear you no more. All right, y'all. We're gonna let Coach Sean go back out and come back in. Yeah. He was lagging a little bit. But yeah, man. Hey, while we wait for Coach Sean to get back, I guess I'll give my little initial feels and post-game reactions. We'll start it off, man. Jump right into it. And don't forget, as you all come in, don't forget to like and subscribe if you're not a subscriber already. And share the content, you guys. Alabama Nation, and the haters. They owe me, Coach Sean, and Coach Jay a few apologies. I don't you think a few apologies are in order, Coach Jay, from some of the fans, especially.
Absolutely.
I mean, and I want to see him, Coach Sean.
Yes, sir.
Okay, he's back 100%. There we go. Hey, so I was just about to get into my little spiel, but I want you to go before me because I was going to jump into the, how we wanted our apologies from some of these fans in the chat, after some of the things that we were having to endure last week on that show when they were just doubting our Crimson Tide and giving Milrose so many problems and Caden Proctor's never going to get. You remember that? You remember?
Oh,
that
yeah.
stuff? Yeah, but go ahead. How you feel about this Tennessee win?
I feel great about it. The first half was a little nerve-wracking, but I feel great about it. I feel great about it for the simple fact that we beat Tennessee. And I tell you, I am so elated and utterly happy that Tennessee fans are so disappointed right now. Like that really, really makes my day for, it just does. It makes, even in a thunderstormy day, which is not thunderstorming, but even if it was, the fact that we defeated Tennessee really, really, really makes me happy. It puts a smile on my face. So anytime you can beat those guys, I'm good with it.
Right.
And one last thing, if I hear one more Tennessee fan complain about the refs, man, I thought Ohio State and LSU fans were the most over-the-top fans I've ever come in contact with. Tennessee might be right there neck to neck with those guys, straight up.
Man, let me tell you, I was pulling my phone out to pull this message up I got on Twitter, this DM. It says, Alabama must really had the bag this year. Good game. And I said, what you mean? He said, you guys sure paid those refs, huh? And this is a Tennessee fan. I don't even know him personally, but shout out to Duke to Go 2020 for the $2 super chat. The Hill Jacks need to stop crying. Hey, that's what they do, man. My man said that they some sore losers. They stadium look like a garbage truck convention. Man, it's just. But yeah, and I told him, I said, y'all must have paid the rest because they still didn't have as many penalties as we had last year playing against them, and we lost by 3. So if y'all want to play that route, that means last year if we had maybe 8 less penalties, we win the game. Is what you're saying? I mean, 2 of our scores got called back that game also because of penalties. So
Coach, did you see the Tennessee fan on Twitter? He took a picture of what he was about to do, man. But he wrote an entire email to the SEC commissioner begging them for them to review the game, and because he thought it was a bribery. I can't go into
God, man.
about the four best. They snitches.
That-
That's exactly along the line, man. They're that video, man. They are snitches.
they some snitches. They low down.
They are dreadful. Just dreadful.
But yeah, man, my take from this game though, like Coach Sean said and Coach Jay said, that game was just, it was a sight to see how this team they just turned on the switch. And we'll get into it more. Y'all heard our initial takes post game, but that I really had to go back and watch it, man. And the O-line played solid all 4 quarters. I don't think they had 2, maybe 3 bad plays, like really bad plays that affected the motion of the offense, the production of the offense. But overall, this O-line did not look like the O-line from any weeks. I mean, this can't be the same O-line that lined up against Texas and Texas A&M. This O-line wasn't. Those three out of those 4 sacks that they got were on Jalen Milroe. The strip sack was on Jalen Milroe. I mean, Proctor forced them out as much as he could. So small things like that, I feel like this staff and this team is just developing at a rate that we weren't expecting, based off the product that they were putting off early in the season. And it's just a great sight to see, as a fan, as a person that knows the game. So we're going to jump into it tonight, man. And I really want to start on probably the most successful part of this team. And we all can agree on this, the defense. The defense once again just played, yes, they gave up 20 total points, but the second half shutout to a team that has been thriving in the second half, man, that speaks volumes. Coach Sean, give me a take on how you felt about this defense's performance from, the opening snap to even the closing snap.
The first half, I was a little taken aback. It's like we were sort of like kind of a step behind Josh Heupel in the first half. I think he had a really, really, really good game script of what he do. That was obviously good film study by him. Some of the quick reads and quick hot routes that what's the quarterback's name? Milton did was right on time, man. They got us running sideline to sideline. They was getting the ball out of his hands extremely quick. It was very difficult to get pressure on him. So it was very good film study by those guys for the first half. We were sort of like a step behind. We went in, made a few adjustments, came back out and did what we do, dominated them. So all in all, I think the defense, for us to adjust that quick and really, I guess, flip the light switch on that fast is always a good thing.
Yes.
Always a good thing. Even if you're a step behind the offense, which happens with good offenses.
Yes, fast offenses.
Yeah, to turn the light on like that and dominate from the second half on, that is a very good sign, man. We can just get the offense to catch up a little bit more. We'll be a team to reckon with nationally, not just in our conference.
Correct. I agree to 100%. I want to highlight something because you said the first half it was kind of a struggle. So the first half, the first drive, of course, was kind of alarming. They identified that, and I don't know if anybody watches Coach Saban's interviews post game, the Nick Saban calling show, all of those things of that nature. But he identified the fact that him and Kevin Steele were going into the game. They thought that the odd front was the best look to combat their rushing attack, which was what was thriving for the offense. Our game plan was the personnel against the run. Allow them to spread out with their receivers and game plan against the run. When they motioned out and had Braswell out there, the safeties, him and Downs both, they forgot personnel. They forgot even personnel means we have to stay over top. Middle is for the linebackers. And you saw that happen. And Braswell, I mean, he did his job. He forced it to, perimeter, forced it up the sideline, and was looking for his help, which should have been there. And you saw the adjustment made the next drive. Highlight this, Coach Sean, Coach Jay. First drive, 75 yards, 2 minutes. Second drive, they came out, 3 plays, 8 yards. Third drive, they came out and extended the drive, 79 yards. Fourth drive came out, 15 yards. So, I mean, the defense kept making adjustments anytime we saw big plays. Shout out to Adam Lamparello, says, guys, this may be controversial, but after watching the game, I think that our offense is going to be fine. What worries me is our secondary. They seem vulnerable in several games. Do you agree? No, I saw some adjustments made on all levels. And that's what I was getting to. This defense, passing game wise, there was a lot of underneath stuff given up because the focus would stop the run game in whatever personnel grouping we came out in. As you saw, the safeties leaning more towards the line of scrimmage. So I saw the adjustments being made. Even Arnold going down early. I don't know if y'all saw the hit early. Like, I think it was the first kickoff when he got up and he was kind of shaking his head from the first drive. So I'm ready to see this team continue to develop defensively. Coach Jay, same question for you. And to kind of coincide with this tie in this super chat from Adam, which we appreciate. What do you feel like is happening with the secondary early in that game? Because I feel like they played solid, honestly. Even with the underneath routes that were getting open, I feel like this secondary played solid. What's your take on the secondary?
Yeah, I thought they did a really good job making adjustments. I think particularly in those first couple of series, Tennessee ran. I mean, they ran a lot of comeback routes. They made sure to take advantage whatever we were playing off ball. They made sure to definitely get that ball out extremely quick because they knew that for the most part we were going to give up cushion, and so they could depending on what route it was, they can get that ball out extremely quick, and then it was just going to be yak after catch. So we did a really good job, I think, of making adjustments. We didn't really allow them to be successful with the comeback routes in the second half, so I think that's kind of good for us. I know a lot of people were on Terry Arnold because he was able to get some receptions. I do think for the most part, in order to kind of slow that down, you can make an argument that maybe you should have made him kind of come up and press, be a lot more physical, because I think that's his biggest strength as a corner is his physicality. I think the moving forward, I'm not going to get too far, but the LSU game, I think you're going to see a lot of just straight up bully ball from Terry and Arnold from a lot of our corners. We're going to challenge them a lot. But the Tennessee game, again, they're a tricky opponent to figure out, man, because we all know they love to split you out wide. They love to try to get you in a disadvantage. They like to run the football and rely on the offensive line. Because if they can get that offensive line going a little bit, again, you don't have a lot of those players that can go inside and it can help you stop the run. That's what Tennessee does a lot. That's really, really good for. So, we made the adjustments needed. But I also think, again, what definitely would have made this defense play a lot better in the first half was if this offense can capitalize on the opportunities that our defense gave them. Notice in the second half how once the offense got going, we didn't allow a point because the defense got more breaks, they got more breathers, and just like how Nick Saban wanted to, the crowd got into it. So that kind of gave us momentum. Like we kept giving momentum to the offense, including forcing a 4 and out. And we were inside of Will Reicher's territory to make a field goal. Didn't get any points, and that literally killed the momentum because I believe they scored a touchdown on the next drive. So that has to play a factor into it as well. But no, overall wise, from what I've seen so far from this defense, and more particularly from the secondary, they did a really good job making adjustments. I thought I thought this was by far one of his better games. Again, he's not going to have any interceptions. It's not going to stay on the stat sheet. But I thought he did a really, really good job, especially playing in phase with the receiver. And then Caleb Downs, I know a lot of people are not going to highlight this, man. Caleb Downs, again, he made a couple mistakes, but once he made adjustments and once he was able to fix that right, I thought Caleb Downs played really, really well. Trey Amos coming in, he did a really, really good job as well. Yes. I mean, I thought that this was a very, very solid job. I thought overall from Alabama's defense and from their secondary. Again, the stats won't show it because I think they had over 400 total yards of offense, but what this defense had to do and how they pretty much once again got this offense back into life and gave them opportunities again to get back into the game and win. I thought that overall wise, the defense did a spectacular job.
Right. And I'm gonna highlight another thing. And I love to dive into the numbers when people try to highlight, Arnold giving this up. The longest completion was an 18-yard completion. And that was it was a 39-yard completion completed to Sean White. And that was, he caught it at like 12, I believe, and kind of was able to break up the sideline early. But passes for over 20 yards, Alabama defended them. Milton was 4 of 11 on passes 20 plus yards. Okay, 4 of 11. So you talking about covering the pass, creating it difficult, making it difficult for the quarterback to take the long downfield shots. Definitely credited to the front, but for the secondary to be in position as much as they were this game, and like you said, Trey Amos, I feel like is really getting settled. Coach Saban highlighted a play where the strip sack fumble with Jahad Campbell, and Coach Saban said he was watching the play out, and if Milton would have released that ball, Amos had already started breaking on the path of the travel to ball, the ball's travel path. He said he saw Amos, if if that wasn't a strip sack, he saw Amos breaking that pass up or picking it. And if he picks that, it's a pick six.
Was that the comeback route too? Was that
he was throwing another, and they baited it. Amos Amos and who was on the inside? Malachi Moore baited it. They gave the switch release look, and it looked like Amos was baiting out to go with the deep. Malachi was riding inside and cut up under the deep while Amos was breaking back down to the flat. And that comeback, and it would have been so nasty. And after Saban said in the interview, that's when I went back and watched it. So it's a good thing to see from this secondary. I don't want to spend too much time on this defense because we got a lot to acknowledge about this offense that even I'm more surprised at what came to fruition in this game. Shout out to Money Senpai for the $2 super chat. He said, big weekend for Bama, Saturday's W and Sunday in the NFL. Oh, yeah, facts. That was a great game last night watching those boys go at it. I forgot the little nickname they gave the game. It was epic, though. It was pretty lit. And Adam Lamparello, $10 super chat once again. Appreciate you, Adam. Guys, what is Kool-Aid doing on punt returns? He seemed like he doesn't want to go anywhere near the ball. I think Law should return punts. I think you are right on the line of everybody on this panel. Arnold, Bond, somebody that can get back there and just wants to create some type of momentum, not looking for style points. I'm right there with you with that. Guys, reactions to those reaction to that last super chat by Adam.
I think Kool-Aid is, I said on our other show, on our post-game show, I think Kool-Aid is losing confidence. And after his first punt return, I thought that might be the case. I said, okay, well, maybe he just misjudged the ball. No problem. But the second one, that bounced right in front of him, he was pointing to it to everybody to get away from. He definitely could have fielded the one that Saban blew a gasket on.
Yes.
He definitely could have fielded that ball. I don't know what's going on with that, but I will say, as I said on our last show, a few misses on a punt return, a few misjudged balls, a few bobbled catches, a few hard hits, it will make you gun shy back there. It definitely will make you gun shy on a punt return. Punt return is one of those things that you really either you all in or not. You know what I mean? It's no in between. I really think we need to at least try Kendrick Law back there because Kendrick Law seems like he runs and catches with no regard of what's going to happen. On kickoff, he's a monster. He's getting better and better and better. So as far as Kool-Aid go, I think his confidence is a little shaken. The good thing about that is, shout out to TRV Preneur Sports Podcast, Travel Sports Preneur Podcast. Shout out to you, bro. The good thing about that punt return real quick is while your confidence may be shaken, all it takes is one big play by him to get it back. You know what I mean? When you're as good as that kid is, it don't take long to get your confidence back. Right now, I think he's a little worried about when he catch the ball. You know, you can definitely tell he's hesitant, but all it takes is one big play and he'll be right back in the game. But if not, I'd like to see Kendrick Law back there.
Correct, man. And shout out to the Facebook family. I forgot that we're on 2 platforms tonight. I can't see the amount of viewers, but if you're over there, run the likes up because I can see if you like the stream. Shout out to Jayden Daniels and Bob Rutherford, who's on both sides, YouTube and Facebook. Always a consistent supporter. Appreciate you, Bob. One of my good Twitter guys too, man. We get real active on Twitter. And then also shout out to Caleb Taylor over there on Facebook for the like. We appreciate you guys on both platforms. And then we got Tim Lovett here with the $4.99 super chat, man. Appreciate you, Roll Tide. Jalen has to use his feet more to keep drives alive. He's too comfortable waiting for something to open on third and short instead of running. I was just about to dive into this because we're jumping to the offensive side, guys. And I want to acknowledge something. I said it in my initial statement, but I don't think y'all realize how improved this defensive line has been. We've questioned the coaching at the offensive line. We've been waiting for his pedigree, you know, his preceded history of the type of offensive lines he's been able to produce at Kentucky in recent history, how solid they were in the run game, how they were able to, you know, hold teams like Georgia and I mean, just dominant defenses. Florida's athletic defense a few years ago, just hold defenses like that, you know, kind of nullify them and keep them in the game. This offensive line showed up Saturday. And I mean, they just continued to get better. They started off pretty, not slow. It was just like they set a bar and they never went back from that bar. And I want to give a shout out to Caden Proctor. Yep. We were so worried about him and being one-on-one with James Pierce. And when I say he stood James Pierce up, one-on-one. 3 out of the 5 times they went strict one-on-one. Caden Proctor, no pass off. He stood James Pierce up. He won 3 out of the 5. And
Don't look now, but that kid is getting better.
I'm telling you guys, I feel like, and we've been complaining about their weight and all that. It took 7 games for them to get their legs up under them. Coach Jay, Coach Sean, whichever you guys want to take it. Offensive line, let's just focus strictly on the offensive line. No play calling, no nothing. Let's dial in on this offensive line because we all gave them flack. We knew that in order for this team to go to the next level, they had to get straight. So whichever one of you want to take it. What's your feel
let me
after
say
that
this
game?
real quick. Don't look now, but Caden is getting better. I mean, sure, he's still giving up a sack here, a sack there, but tell me this kid, at one point, this kid was giving up 3, 2, 3, 4 sacks and God knows how many pressures. Don't look now, but the kid is getting better, man. Go ahead, Coach Jay.
No, I completely agree. I mean, Caden Proctor, man, did a really, really good job. And again, you're going against one of the better edge rushers in the SEC. They have two of their guys were sack rushers, and again, they kept trying to rotate some of those guys because they wanted to see which person would give them the most fit because they've noticed that hey, against guys with size, with guys with length, Caden Proctor is going to have an issue with. Well, I thought Caden Proctor did a really, really good job for the most part. He did a phenomenal job kind of holding his own. They tried to bull rush him a couple times. They did get a sack, but that's more on a Milroe because Milroe, you can't stand in the pocket like a statue. You got to try to move around there.
With the feet like he did in the second half.
Exactly. You had a running lane wide open that he could have tried to get right there. But no, I thought Caden Proctor did a really, really nice job. Tyler Booker, I thought, did a good job as well. The only complaint I have with the offensive line is the snaps with Seth McLaughlin.
Yeah.
The low snaps, high snaps. That's something it's got to get fixed, man, because I'm tired of Jalen Milroe looking like Odell Beckham Jr. one-handing these
What
things.
you guys think going on with that, Coach Jay?
I thought it was fixed, bro. I thought it was fixed last week in the second half because it looked beautiful. I mean, and I don't know if something happened with his hand again because that's what the reports was. He was starting just to get back from fully recovered from the injury. But once again, man, it wasn't enough to affect the offense. But I feel like in a tight game, man, SEC championship type game, Auburn, Jordan Hare, that needs to be clean, man. Second quarter I can understand maybe the first snap, it might be a little moist on the field. It ain't the warm-up ball. You get what I'm saying? Maybe the first drive. But after that, and at this point in the season, it should be nullified. It should be 0 at this point. And things happen, but it was like 6 or 7 snaps that were just, if they're on time, if they're clean snaps, it's a different play. You get what I'm saying? Even on the sack, the corner blitz, that was a bad snap. He's, kind of leaving his feet to get the ball. And when he sets his feet, Proctor's checking inside out like Milroe caught the shift. He caught the slide protection right. Knee Black didn't check left before he released. And there was a free release on the corner. If he has a clean snap, he's able to catch the ball and see the middle of the field instead of turning his body to catch the ball. So it's small things like that. If we clean that up, man, it just allows the offensive line to look better. Coach Sean, your assessment on this O-line as a whole. I know you highlighted Caden Proctor, but as a whole, man, who do you see as, I'm going to spin the question, who do you see as making the biggest impact as far as the change in the effect of this offensive line?
Tyler Booker. The left guard, Tyler Booker, is physical, bro. I personally think right now he's playing. I know they play 2 different positions, but Tyler Booker is who they run behind. Sure, Jayden Roberts is just as physical in the run game, but Jayden Roberts isn't there with the pass protection like Tyler Booker is yet.
Not yet.
Tyler Booker right now may be our best offensive lineman. That kid, man, listen. I don't know if you watch or not, but they run behind Booker more than anybody. More that right off their left side, the left tackle, the left guard, side. They run behind Booker a lot, man. And he clean them up, boy. He fire off the ball and hat on hat is awesome. So I think as a whole, I still would like to see us more physical in the run game.
Yes.
For some reason, it seems like when we start being more versatile in the run game, we have issues getting to the second level. I don't know what it is, man, but everybody shouldn't be able to stop us so consistently in the run game. But I'm not upset with the offensive line compared to where we came from at all.
And I saw a comment earlier by Mitch. He said the offensive line has a lot of room to grow. The fact that they do, to see that type of performance, and they have a lot of room to grow to be on a consistent level where we're saying they're they're becoming that dominant offensive line we become accustomed to it with those national championship teams. That Saturday's game was a great sign because I feel like of all the position groups on the offensive side, I ain't gonna say on defense side because our defensive front played lights out. I don't care. I don't know. Otis, Keenan. Let's come back to offense. I got excited. I became a defensive coach this weekend. I was so excited to be watching the defense. But yeah, this offensive line is definitely growing. The more reps, the better. They're getting this rest this week. Clean up a lot of nicks. Jayden Roberts definitely. Shout out to Tim Lovett again for the $1.99 super chat. Jayden Roberts is definitely a great piece to be added to this offensive line. He shored up the physicality aspect we needed. Seth is still physical. It's just the snaps, man. And he's not getting whooped a lot. It's just he's not looking like that fire, but I still see the tenacity. I still see the effort. I see the good attitude, mistakes being made, and he's just rebounding. He's still making good calls. Communication is getting a lot better across that offensive line. I don't know if y'all noticed that. Their communication with the tight ends, which you saw Knee Black come straight to the huddle after that fumble, and they were like, man, you got to check that first before you leave. You the last line of protection on that side. You got to check. You're on the line of scrimmage. So small things like that I see being cleaned up. Let's jump to the wide receiver room. Tight end wide receivers. Let's talk about them. We saw Jermaine Burton going off again, y'all. Mm-hmm. I mean, every week he's been an impact some type of way. I mean, he didn't get as many targets this game, and I'm gonna jump over to the stats and bring him up for the chat. But Coach Sean, give me your assessment on this wide receiver group. I want to go last because y'all know I'm a wide receiver by heart. You know, that's what I do. So I'll go last with the wide receivers.
I like our wide receiver room. I like how they're playing. I feel like going forward, though, I wish they give us. I think what I'm trying to say is I'm not disappointed in them by any stretch of the imagination, but I wish Reese gave us an opportunity. It's too many times I look out there and it reminds me of Bill O'Brien. They all run the same route. They all run, you know. Yeah. So I wish he's more. I wish he take a page from Steve Sarkisian. You know, I wish we were more versatile in our pass game. And I know it's a quarterback-driven thing and this, that, and the third, but I wish we were more versatile with our pass routes, with our route trees. But as far as their performance, I'm not upset at the wide receiver room at all. It's several times that the wide receivers are open. We just can't get them the ball. Right. You know? So, nah, I'm definitely not upset at the wide receiver room, and I'm definitely feeling Jermaine Burton. I like how he's playing. I like his fire. You know, I like, you know, until he get flagged, I don't care what he do. Just continue to play like you play.
Right. And I just want to highlight these averages, y'all. Look at these catches. All these guys are really, this is a tight end with his only catch of the game was a 15-yard reception. I think he caught it at like 9 yards and took it another 6 before they took him down. Amari Knee-Black had a key catch on that 5-yard pass. But these guys right here, Burton Bonds, and Benson, I see we're not seeing the targets at Benson, but I see that kid working in the pass game. I think what's holding him back from being the primary is his pass blocking. I mean, not pass blocking, but run blocking, being active in that run blocking. And once he gets more decisive and more technique sound with that, I see that being fixed and we see more targets. But to your point, Coach Sean, I don't think it's a lack of creativity with the route concepts. I think it's the timing that we implemented because first half was, like you said, so simple. Mm-hmm. But then in the second half, man, I mean, I'm not going to say first half. The second drive of the second quarter is when I saw some creativity that was, you know, really implemented. The jet sweep motion, and Benson ran the out and up the wheel, and the jet sweep motion, you know, followed right behind that. It was so simple but intricate because it forces safeties and corners into conflict. It forces linebackers to identify motion. That way, if it is a run play, which the run action was off of that, I mean, you don't have linebackers already leaning in the hole at the handoff. You know, they're stuck. They have to be decisive, left, right, like you said. So to highlight that, I think the wide receivers looked a lot better because of the pre-snap motion. Just like with the run game. I feel like pre-snap motion, Tommy Rees made it look like Tommy Rees was a genius. Pre-snap motion had Tommy Rees looking like a genius. Coach Sean, these numbers, are you satisfied? I mean, they're not eye-popping, but again, this guy has more than 5 receivers in the pass game again. More than 5 receivers, 5 different targets.
I like it, but I think we sub too much at receiver.
You
I
do?
wish we get. I know that's we going with the guys that's coming in and they're all making plays.
Mhm.
But sometimes maybe not this past game, but sometimes like the Arkansas game, it seemed like we was subbing too much at receiver.
Every drive, that is aggravating.
Yeah, it's like you don't get a guys an opportunity to get settled in. It's like every time you look around, somebody else is coming on the field, somebody else is jogging off. And, I play running back, so I feel the same way. So yeah, I just feel like I don't feel bad about it. I don't want to come off like I feel bad about it, but I just feel like sometimes we do too much subbing at wide receiver.
Right. Coach Jay, I'm gonna ask you something. I want you to touch on the wide receivers, Coach Jay. Just your overall feel, but I'm about to bring up another screenshot because me and you gave this number after the Arkansas game. I went back and I looked at the stream, and we gave this number for what I'm about to post up here, and just give your overall feel for the wide receivers. You can get that super chat for us too, bro.
All right, which one are we highlighting? It's like 2 super chats.
Yeah, Ray and Javion.
All right, so Javion, he said, let's see. He said Tommy didn't call the same plays. He said they called the same plays both, huh? It's right there. All right. And then Coach Shine, you want to touch on this one?
Which one, Tommy?
Yeah.
Tommy didn't
Roy?
call the same plays both have. I mean, yeah, there were several plays that was the same, believe it or not. I seen the plays that were the same. It's just the pre-snap motion with the same type of play, maybe a different formation. It worked. It's kind of like what Coach Mook was saying. I definitely seen some of the same plays, some of the same routes, but that pre-snap motion, you got to remember that mix everything up.
Mm-hmm.
That makes your assignment not it's still your assignment, but that makes you question your assignment. You try to do other people's job. So yeah, that pre-snap motion definitely threw a monkey wrench in it.
Yep. And then Roy Parham, he said, I like to see Law get more jet sweeps. No, I kind of agree with that. I mean, I got a quick story, man. So Coach Mook on Saturday, man, he calls me, lights my phone up 2 times in a row, man. He's yelling on the phone, dog. He's yelling, jet sweep. You saw me run the jet sweep. I'm like, damn, man, you get it. No, I mean, he got so excited.
I was emotional, man. It was crazy. The fact that it was ran in the green. What did I say last week? Run those in the green. Stop running those in the red. Run those in the green. That means between the 35 and your 35 and the other 35. That's what we usually call the green. Some people push it to the 30, but the green, man, that's the perfect area for open field motion, like jet sweep. That's where you run it. And we ran it we motioned from the tight side to the wide side.
Where's that been?
Who would have thunk it?
Where's it been?
All season long, man. That's the first time I think I've seen that. That's insane. But no, these receivers, I do agree that we rotate a lot. There's a lot of talent with this receiving room, and I think that again they each have a valuable skill set that adds to this offense. Kendrick Law's that gadget receiver. He's that. I'm not gonna the comparison. He's that Isaiah McKenzie, Dante Hardy type of receiver. He's that receiver that for the most part you can line him up in the backfield. You can use him in motion. You can use him with the jet sweeps. You can use him on the quick screen game. I would like for him to be a little bit more involved in the screen game a little bit more, because I know as far as yards at the contact, though, he runs like a running back pretty much between all the receivers. So I think that for the most part, each receiver again has a valuable skill set. Benson, again, I think that for the most part, we incorporate him on different skill sets. Maybe not as a run blocker, but you would like to see him more as a pass catcher a little bit more. Ja'Cory Brooks, I don't even think he even got in the game.
He did. Brooks, he did. In the third quarter, he got in the game, but
he didn't get a lot of reps, like minimal reps.
I mean, and to Coach Sean's point though, like it's one of those things. I'm kind of cool with that. I'm kind of cool with that because he had 2 drops in the game where he did get those extra reps that Jalen Hale was getting the week before. You get what I'm saying? And it was 2 clutch drops. One of them was early in the game to set momentum. And then the other one was, second and 7. Drop it on, you wide open 4 yards over the first down. So you got to be consistent. You a 5th-year guy. You supposed to be the leader, the other leader. Burton stepped up. Where are you going? But I believe Brooks still that guy that, big moments. I guarantee you he in there. We need another big one at the end of the Iron Bowl. Brooks will be in there. Shout out to my boy KillTac9, $10 super chat. Can someone let Kyle Henderson know I heard his blasphemy against Bama wide receiver being Smith? It's Julio Jones. Bama, greatest Bama. Oh, about greatest Bama wide receiver being Smith. He's saying Devontae Smith. Kyle believes that. He's thinking it's Julio Jones. Man, don't get me to getting on this wide receiver debate. Shout out to Ray Parham. He said we should use law like San Fran uses Dabo. I see that. I saw that last game. If you go look at a lot of Law's pass concepts, they were a lot coming across the middle, a lot of short, quick, shifty stuff. Even with Kobe Prentice. Let's jump over to the running back room, man. I don't know why I can't bring this screen up, but Coach J, 27 for 115, average of 4.3. Longest run was 29. Another running back, RB2 had 6 carries for 20 yards, 3.3 average, 5 yards. One of his carries was a key first down in the second half. We want to highlight that one. It was an 8-yard carry, but 6 carries, 20 yards. Jalen Murrow, 9 recorded carries. 4 of those were counted as sacks. And those yardage was -6, -11, -3. And then the one where he ran back slid back into the line of scrimmage, they counted that as a -1 yard loss. So he had 3 total yards on 9 carries to bring the average down to 0.3. Longest rush was 15 yards. Coach J, how are you feeling about this run game? Not just the running back room, but this run game. How are you feeling about it?
I think it's getting a tad bit better. Tennessee can play again. Tennessee for the most part because they have a very weird defense. Pass defense wise, they're graded as one of the best in the country. Their rush defense, though, in yards per carry, they were ranked 115th in the country. So I would have loved to see us be a little bit more dominant in the run game. I thought that for the second half was a lot better than the first half. I thought we struggled to run up the gut a little bit. Some of our best runs, I think, came from right outside the perimeter. Give a lot of credit to Jason McKellen. One of the nastiest runs was when he was going against the defender and he slowed down, hit him with the stutter, and then he was able to accelerate once again coming outside the perimeter. That was a clutch first down, too, that he was able to pick up as well. But no, I would like to see us to be a little bit more dominant up front. I think Tyler Booker, no question, is the best guy. Jayden Roberts was taken out a little bit, and I think that you kind of saw the decline a little bit in the run game when he was out, and then when they turned him back in,
immediately
you started to see it get picked up right back immediately. But I have when you look at the last 2 to 3 games, this run game is getting a little bit better. I think that for the most part, I think this experiment of rotating with 3 or 4 guys is over. I think Jace McKellen is the clear-cut guy that's getting a majority of the carries. You'll see some Rodell Williams here and there. And you'll see him, especially in pass pro. I think he's actually getting a little bit better in pass pro. But Jace is clearly the majority. Like, he is the majority guy. And I think that's kind of more of a good thing that I've learned from this run game. But no, I mean, we're going to need it. We're going to need this run game to work next week against LSU because I don't want the ball to go in their hands. And what's the best way to keep LSU and Jayden Daniels from getting the ball in their hands? You have to run the football.
Right.
Where we want to be a much more balanced approach where we can run it, we can throw it. Well, guess what? This is a game where Jalen Murrow, we can incorporate him a little bit more into the run game. Use quarterback designed runs, use some sweeps, use some quarterback power. You can use the zone read, which we used a couple times on 3rd and 5 situations.
Mm-hmm.
One of them, Jalen Murrow should have just handed it off to Jace. The other one he should have kept. The other one he should have kept at all. So. We got some things we have to fix, but overall wise, I do like the run game. I do think that we are getting better, especially at the line of scrimmage. But we got it. It's got to come together. We got to have a complete run. Like, this needs to be what that second half of that South Florida game, how we just completely took it over with Rodell. We got to take that over with LSU next week. And that's not a good run defense. Not a good run defense at all. And hopefully we can get that job done there.
Early. So shout out to Jason Deal. He has a question for the panel. How you feel about bringing in Jam and Justice late in the game with fresh legs? That's something that I think we're going to see implemented a lot these next few games. And though we didn't see Jam Miller get any carries, he was on the field. He made the key block on 3rd and 6 in the first half. He was actually on that second drive. He came in for one play on that second drive when we scored the first point. So I know a lot of things we get into the hype of in the mood of things. a lot of times with these personnel rotations. But this team seems a little bit different in buying into what they do best for the team. The experimental phase is over. I think we know that we got 2 sets of backs where we could, if God forbid Jason Roydell go down, I think we got another 1-2 set that can be efficient, that can be effective. You get what I'm saying? In Justice and Jam, I think they could really come in for it. Say for instance, Jason Roydell go down for 2 games, some minor ankle stuff. I don't mind them going out against Kentucky and Chattanooga. You know what I'm saying? And them getting some real burn against those teams. I have confidence in those guys, and I even have confidence in Richard Young being the 3rd spell back. So the stats, like I said, I'm going to continue to say, the more Jalen Miro speeds that clock up and stops taking some of those losses, the stats will look better. But this run game is definitely growing. And like you said, Coach Jay, it's going to continue to evolve. I saw it evolving. We saw Jace McClellan run into a block instead of hitting the hole early in the game, and then turn around the first drive of the third quarter. He comes out and he hits that same blocking scheme. Only difference was the pre-snap motion. Hits that same hole and breaks for 29 yards. First play of the third quarter. So I see guys are paying attention to details. The mental is starting to look like it's prevalent. Guys are looking focused. Let's highlight one more thing. How many penalties did we have? I want everybody in the chat, right? So, right. How many penalties did we have? Unforced errors, which is penalties that, happen because of mental lapses. We had 1. We had 2 total penalties. 1 was forced, we at the end of the game where we took the call. But guys, this team something is turned on for this team. Something has clicked for this Alabama team. Discipline, mentality. Guys, comment. Tell me, were y'all surprised, or was it a good feeling? What was it?
I mean, me personally, yeah. Anytime we can have 1 penalty compared to 8, 9, 14, 12, shoot, yeah, I was ecstatic about that. I'm a pessimist by nature, man. When it comes to football, the truth is in the details, bro. If I got to be picky about one thing, I don't feel like this is a complete show. We can't be picky about at least one thing.
Right.
I don't like the fact that we made Joe Milton look like Michael Vick on a couple of runs. That's going to be big for us the next game.
Got to be fixed.
Got to be fixed, man, because this quarterback we play a week from Saturday, you better believe that film is Brian Kelly is a very good coach, man. He the type of talent he has at LSU, he didn't have that in abundance at Notre Dame. He would have, he had some talent, don't get it wrong, but in abundance like that. I mean, D-line, O-line, the plethora of riches at wide receiver, the quarterback. I mean, this guy was dealing with what's the little guy name? The little bitty quarterback that Tommy Rees had. I forgot his name. He played for the Saints. Ian freaking Book, right? So to go from Ian Book to Jayden Daniels, man, that's like night and day, brother. So we got to fix that. I'm ecstatic about the penalty situation. Yeah, I can't say nothing bad about that. I do feel like we need to play a little cleaner. Being that everybody's complaining about the refs, this, that, and the third. There was a few things I'd like to see cleaned up before we go into this LSU game. If we can keep it under 3-4 penalties, at least under 5 penalties, I'll be happy, man, compared to where we came from.
Especially eliminating those pre-snaps.
Yeah.
I can understand post-snap penalties sometimes. Offensive lineman being illegal receiver downfield. I can see that happening. That happens when you have a quarterback that extends the play with his legs a lot. Yep. So but that was cleaned up this game. We saw it cleaned up. You saw guys literally they tell you to make a fence, remember your boundary. So literally moving side to side with arms wide. Wasn't none of this lazy stuff from our offensive line. So I'm very excited about that. I do want to highlight something since we kind of sliding into, our takes, and we're going to be able to do this LSU take more in depth next week on the next week's show. We have the bye week this week. So we're just kind of using this to fully take in what we've come from this season. But David Kendall put a stat in the chat, man. And I want to pay attention to it because it's interesting. I like to pay attention to these stats when we're this far into the season because this starts to tell you something. So David Kendall, and I kind of don't pay attention to the defensive ranking until I look at the numbers. But I started looking at some of these teams, the teams on this LSU schedule. I'm looking at the defenses, man, and I'm starting to not question because I know Jayden Daniels is a guy. And I went back to one game in particular, the LSU Auburn game. And I saw the impact that the defensive front was able to have on Jayden Daniels early. And I don't think I don't think Auburn possesses a defensive coordinator with the caliber of scheme as Kevin Steele. So when I look at numbers like this, when you talking about here's some numbers: 79, number 67, number 41, 69, 37, 62, and 51. And the other team isn't in the FBS. That's the defenses LSU has faced this year and where they are ranked defensively nationally. I don't like transitive property, but these numbers, you say look at the details, Coach Sean. And I look at the details when that kind of stat is thrown out there because that same stat was prevalent for teams who had a lot of success last season in the run game when they played Alabama, when they implemented the quarterback run. We were I think number 74 ranked going into that game against LSU with our run defense. It was real low last year. How do y'all feel about that, seeing that kind of stat? Does that kind of initially, just knowing that now and thinking about how explosive this offense has looked, does that kind of make you want to go back and, reevaluate? Because me personally, I still think Jayden Daniels and his offense is solid. But it does make me think man, this defense is thriving. 5 week, extra week of film. What's your take, Coach Jay?
Every single opponent that's on Alabama's schedule, Alabama can blow them out, and that includes LSU. The biggest issue for me is if we keep being inconsistent on the offensive side of the ball like we have been doing all season long.
Facts. That's where I was going, Jay. Facts.
They're going to take advantage, and they're going to take advantage of it because we talk about because again, Tennessee scored 20 points. They could have very well scored at least one more touchdown, maybe even two. There were missed throws that Joe Milton missed in the back of the end zone in the red zone that Jayden Daniels is not going to. He's not going to miss those throws.
That's the whole fact.
And their run game, again, we can neutralize their run game. I'm not even really worried. Again, they have really nice running backs. Logan Diggs. You have another cat, Josh Williams. He gave us problems last year. I know that we can neutralize the run game. I know that for the most part, when they actually go against a solid front that can get to the quarterback, they have problems with. Florida State first game, they got killed off the edge. They got killed in the interior. I think Alabama can take advantage of that. But Jayden Daniels with his legs, how we've kind of struggled with containing the quarterback, the weapons that they have on the outside that can potentially give our corners some fits. This is an offense that is they're really, really good at taking advantage of situations. And again, if our offense can't get it going, then this is going to be the first team that we play all year since Texas that will take advantage of the situation. Eventually, they're going to take advantage of situations. That first half against Texas, we played a terrific job on defense. The amount of times that they were inside the 40-yard line and the fact that they came out either with 3 points or no points because they went for it a couple times on fourth down. What happened in the second half? Eventually, when your defense has over 90-plus plays, you're on the field for that long, and then all of a sudden they get tired, and then Steve Sarkisian eventually finds the particular matchups that he can expose. Boom! All of a sudden, here comes a shootout, and Quinn Ewers is looking like a Heisman Trophy quarterback. So that is my number one. That's my fear.
Right.
I think if we play our complete game and we start to run the football extremely well, and Jalen Miro starts to take his progression to the next level, and we can have a complete game on the offense side of the ball, we're blowing this team out. Mm-hmm. But if we can continue to play like the way we have all year, just being inconsistent on one half, it's going to be a struggle. And you're going to see Jayden Daniels put up the stats that he has. So it's all about that. But if we, again, put it all together, I think our defense with the momentum everything has can blow this team out easily.
Quick highlight. You was highlighting snap count. So against Texas, our defense played 78 snaps. Against Tennessee, our defense played 78 snaps. The difference in that game, against Texas, we didn't produce any points. Every time we gave the ball over, they scored 7 on the first 3 extra possessions that the defense gave us. The difference this game is when they gave it to us the third time, we was able to get 7 on the board. It wasn't 0. So I'm starting to see the improvement. I'm starting to see the things. I think this defense of LSU kind of reminds me, when we talk about production wise, they remind me of Mississippi State. And I don't think that this offense is not that they can't get started. I think identify personnel early is what's going to be key against LSU. Because if we have to take the ball first, we have to score first. If we score first, I think that really puts Brian Kelly in a bind early. I don't think he has a lot of confidence in that run game. He doesn't like to scheme up the run game to, open it up. He's trusting Jayden Daniels and what he can do with his legs, extending the play. So I think, like you said, that's key. But what I am excited to see is, with this extra week of study, what extra wrinkles are we going to see carried over from the Tennessee game to this LSU game? Because I will give Tommy Rees credit this. He hasn't regressed since the Ole Miss game. He hasn't regressed. He's picking his spots better. His that pre-snap motion, man. It was that, I feel like once he figured that out in the second quarter, that's what really showed me he's learning his lessons. Coach Sean, I talked about the snap count. We talked about the penalties. The turnover battle. We didn't necessarily win the turnover battle. As far as turnovers caused, but the turnover battle, do you think this defense is still showing an ability to create, turnovers? Do you think, like, the way this defense is being schemed up, comment on what you're seeing when it comes to, us being able to create turnovers, create opportunities for turnovers?
I think we can. I think this defense can create turnovers. I think we're in a position where we can create turnovers. That kind of segue is what I was going to piggyback off what Coach Jay was saying. When the young man posted the super chat about the defenses LSU has went against that were ranked where they were ranked, I'm gonna tell you why those numbers don't mean zero to me. Absolutely nothing to me. If this were Alabama in 2021 or 2020, the JMO year, or the Mac Jones last year, those numbers would mean something to me, because we can actually make you pay on defense. When you play, we can actually make you play running your defense consistently. Like, we can make you pay every drive. We can make you pay. I'm not sure we can do that right now. I'm just not sure, even against that defense, because of what Coach Jay just said. If you go 3 and out on this team, you're going to put yourself in a bad situation. We may be able to stop them a couple of times. We got a great defense. Segue into what Coach Mook is asking. We have a great defense, but know this, man. Like, you have to know this, not to get too deep with it. You cannot. There's not a team in the country, not Ohio State, not Georgia. You see Georgia with Ohio State last year. There's not a team in the country that can consistently stop an offense like that. You can't go 3 and out against that team as much as we go 3 and out against the Tennessees and the Arkansas, it's just like we've done all season long. Our defense is great and will keep us in every game. We will create turnovers. We will create sacks, but there is a lot of things, man, that we do on offense that will put us in bad situations against this team. And sure, I do have faith that we can create turnovers, but this team can make you pay in so many different ways, man. You don't cover well on the back end, they can hit you over the top. You do cover good on the back end, this quarterback can take it 50 yards. So some of the ways we've played, we will have to play continuously better, and we will have to play better on the offensive end, because this will be one of those games that the offense will put our defense in a bad situation and get us into trouble. So yes, to answer your question, we can create turnovers, but we have to play way better on the offensive side of the ball.
And I want to highlight their game against Ole Miss. They came in, I think the point differential, they lost, of course, but the point differential in the first quarter was 14. The average point differential for LSU right now is plus 14. So it seems like that's like their target number to try to keep the game in range coming out of the fourth quarter. The first quarter. I feel like if we can somehow put together 10 plus points in the first quarter, we put them in a bind to get them into that pass happy situation. Because I honestly believe at this point in the season, we're the best SEC, the best defense in the SEC West right now.
Let me say this, Coach Smoot, considering
ahead.
what you just said, and you piggyback off what I'm about to say.
Mm-hmm.
The defense that we play, the type of defense that we play, it does give opportunities for a high power offense to score on us, if mistakes are made.
Right.
The type of defense that we play, that defense that we play is a great defense. But if you're not sound,
you know it,
you will get beat on the back end in this defense.
Watch Switch Release University will be unveiled when we see LSU.
Yes,
they're going to really test us to see if we come out in the wrong front again. And I think Coach Saban, Kevin Steele, this whole defensive staff learned their lesson. Let's not even chance putting let's let them beat our two guys up front with our edges. Let's let them beat them first before we bring out the odd front and bring in the extra linebacker instead of keeping the DBs out there, the cover set out there. And definitely run with your Lawson Campbell combo starting against LSU. I don't have time to be worrying about Tresman Marshall not being able to spy when Lawson is forcing guys out, when it's time for him to, go on his A-gap blitz or his stunt. He the fifth man on the stunt. So I really want to see this defense be sound, like you said, up front, causing Daniels to keep his eyes moving, keep his head moving, keeping his eyes from downfield. Like, those are the small things we're going to have to see. And I think we're equipped for it, Coach Sean. I really do. And like you said, if the offense could just respond, even if it's going down with the first two drives, if the defense is not giving up points in two drives, we got to be at least getting three. We got to be in field goal. Yeah. Something. It has to produce something. Positive field position change. We haven't really struggled with that with James Burnham and the punt game, but that's definitely going to be a key factor of capitalizing off these, because the defense is going to give us opportunities. They're going to give us extra possessions. We won the possession battle this last game. So I think we continue to do that and actually get points off of those possessions instead of having I think we had 14 possessions total that game and only produced points on 11 of them. So we got to be better. Got to be better.
You know what I think about when I think of LSU playing at LSU last year, segueing into Coach J? I think of the back end covering extremely well, and we dropping 8 and Jayden Daniels taking off.
Yeah.
And the game going into overtime. I think it went to overtime, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't it go into overtime?
Yeah.
And that kid running, I hope we do something to punish that kid. If he's gonna run the ball, I hope we punish him, man. I hope we turn back to the old Bama defense, to wherever your quarterback runs, we're gonna make him pay for it.
Right.
Yep. And like I said before, as far as receivers go, there's only two. There's really two receivers that can give you fits. And lucky for us, we have two outside guys, two outside boundary corners that can play physical with both of them.
Yeah.
I think this is a game where I think Terrion Arnold. This is why you need Terrion Arnold. This is why you need his physicality, because Brian Thomas or Malik Neighbors, Malik Neighbors is going to be lined up in the slot. But guess what? I think Malachi Moore can match him. I think Malachi Moore, you can put hands on him. Malik Neighbors, he excels well yards after the catch. I think Malachi can do well with that. I think our safeties, if we can communicate well on the back end, can do well with that. We have the personnel to shut this offense down. But when you keep giving them chances, and I'm talking to our offense, when you keep giving them chances by not taking advantage of their defense, and their secondary is piss poor. We're going to get into more depth of that next week, but that secondary is piss poor. Their defensive front is going to be interesting to see, because they have guys that can make plays. Mekhi Wingo, Mason Smith, and then this is going to happen next week. Perkins is going to line outside. He's going to go against Proctor. And that's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens there. But we have, just like I talked about Tennessee, how our receivers were going to win that matchup. Our receivers can win this match, and they should win this matchup. And if Tommy Rees can dial up a lot more things, if we can be more consistent, running a lot more pre-snap motion, getting these players in the right situations, we can win. But if Miro has his best game, if Miro puts it all together for this one, I'm telling you, this game's going to look ugly for LSU. But we got to play more consistent. We got to be playing more in the tune. Otherwise, it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be like how it was last year, only except that you may need to score 40 points to hang around with this team. So it's all about how we play. It's all about how we come out.
For sure, man.
Roll Tide, Carla Hinton.
Carla Hinton in the chat. You know I was about to get to my
love.
Carla. I love my Carla, but that Carla. Nah, but for real, man. Y'all, we made a lot of good points about, just where this team has come from. If you had to go and let's do mid-season grades as we get ready to wind this thing down. Mid-season grades, and I want y'all to think progressively wise. Not what we've been complaining about every week, because honestly, if we really just sit back and think about every complaint that's been made every week that's made it to the media, Coach Saban and that staff have found a way to shore those things up. The biggest concern in this game, and if you was to put like you categorize your problems, your bills. Sometimes we take our bills and we like this the most important, this the second most, you know what I'm saying? All of them got to get paid, but if we push come to shove, this need to get paid first. I think that's how Saban was handling these issues when it came to the development of his team. And the offensive line was definitely the next thing on the list. We saw the passing game be assured against Mississippi State and against Texas A&M. We saw the pass game. We saw the run game be reassured against Mississippi State. Ole Miss game. We saw the run game wake up. We saw the ability to be balanced in games, early on. So and I'm speaking just solely on the offensive side because the defense has been flexible. They've been able to be flexible, adjust, and dominate. But this offense, we're seeing them learn, and the phases of the game to be cleaned up. So mid-season grades coming, and let's just knock them out. Give you 30-second take on each position group. Let's start with the O-line. Coach Jay, what's your grade for the O-line up until this point, man? Overall grade.
I'm gonna give it a B minus. I went from and I think that's a huge jump. I think I'm gonna go from a D to an overall B minus. I think we definitely made some improvements. We made some strides. I'm seeing the progression, run blocking, and definitely in pass. And I think now we're starting to get there with pass blocking, mainly on the left side. I think Caden Proctor is going to get better, and we're making strides. We're making some strides.
Okay, Coach Sean, you take the running backs. Overall grade, man.
I say a B plus. I like to see Jace have better vision. I mean, Jace is not a speed back. If he was a speed back, he could have broke several runs in this game we just played. Sometimes Jace's vision get off, and he one time I sent a video to one of my partners. Excuse me.
That first run when he ran into Booker back.
Yeah, man. And then it's like one time on the one time he could have cut up the lane. Booker had opened it up great, and he bounced it outside. Him and Jam both got a habit of bouncing it outside for some reason. But they hadn't played bad at all. I'll give the pass pro maybe a C minus, but overall grade, I give them a B.
C minus?
Pass pro.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying I think they've got.
I think they're getting better, but I still see them getting ran over. I mean, Roydell stepped up one time and dude just cleaned his
Pierce
clock.
Cleaned him. Yeah, that's Pierce though, man. That's that dude.
They used to teach us near leg, waist, block
at the hip.
Not hit them up high. So
yeah.
I don't know what they doing hitting these guys full speed up high, but I seen one dude just plow Roydell. Roydell stopped him now. Don't get me wrong. He did his job, but he paid for it, boy.
He paid.
He paid for it dearly.
He paid the piper that time.
Yes.
Hey, shout out to our guy Milton Johnson for the $10 super chat. And then another one from Milton Johnson. He said, keep up the good work, guys, man. Appreciate you, man, and Roll Tide. I'm gonna take the wide receivers, tight ends, and I'm gonna give them an A minus. I'm gonna give them an A minus. No, I'm gonna give them a solid A. You talk about the opportunities they've been given to work with. They've improved in the run blocking game. I think it's only 6 drops this season between 8 games. 6 drops, and that's a testament, man. 6 drops compared to I think last year we ended with 28 or something like that.
Wow.
That's a lot of drops for receivers when you had a man. So yeah, I give the receivers an A. Jermaine Burton in that group, man. Isaiah Bonds. I'm seeing Kobe Prentice emerge as the true number 3 receiver as far as being looked at as far as options. Amari Black and Malik Benson's coming out party is coming soon. I wouldn't be surprised if it's against LSU, y'all. I'm telling you, I wouldn't be surprised because that secondary, like you said, Coach Jay, is horrible. So we did everybody quarterback. We all gonna give a quarterback grade. We all gonna give the quarterback. We're gonna grade Jalen Monroe. And I'm going unbiased. I'm not grading him as a fan. I'm going unbiased. Coach Jay, you take Coach Sean, you take the first grade, man. You go give me your grade for Jalen Monroe this season.
I can't give him an A and I can't give him a B right now. I give him a C plus because he's still leaving a lot on the field, but he don't get us beat. His turnovers aren't bad, and like I say, he's edging a B to me. But right now, I give him a C plus, a high C.
79.
That's sort of middle of the road to me.
Yeah,
and that's pretty much all I can give him at the moment. That's not bad. That's not super good. It's kind of right there. But,
right. That's third round draft pick type stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Coach Jay.
And I'll say the same thing. I agree. It's a C plus, man. If you ever seen SC Shorts, man, when they're giving a team a C plus grade, and then all of a sudden the teacher's coming out like, "Hey, you got great potential, man. You can definitely get in there in this class pretty soon." That's what I say with Jalen Miro, man. Like he has really really good potential. But like Coach Sean said, there's still a lot left that he still needs. A lot left on the field that he's not seeing. He's got to start seeing that check down, man. He's got to start seeing that check down a lot more because it is there. Got to start seeing that a lot more, but. Compared to last year, he's made some really, really big strides in his game. And he's getting better. He is getting better. There's some things, of course, that you would like for him to fix, but there's also a lot of things that he has improved upon that a lot of fans have been complaining since the Texas game and even the first half when people were calling for Ty Simpson to get in the game. Jalen Miro immediately made those adjustments and he learned from it. So overall wise, I got to give him a C plus. Still growing, but give him that 78, 79 grade.
Hold on, y'all. I'm cleaning my glasses because I'm Coach Sean. I know you gave the same look I. Am I reading that right?
Yeah. I'm gonna let you get on them this one. I'm gonna let you have this one.
I'm gonna get in the mic for this. Milrose regressed a little since A&M.
Oh Jesus! You see what I'm talking about? And that's what fans were saying that first half. That's what fans were saying that first half.
How? I mean, that wasn't even the first. That first half. That wasn't even first half. Milroe didn't regress. Like that was a 3 drives. I remember one game. Milroe went 2.5 quarters before it looked like he started understanding what was going on in the game, and that was before A&M. And A&M was his best passing game this season. Then he goes and he still one interception. Really, if we want to be honest, if Jermaine Burton goes up with 2 hands, it's either incomplete or it's a catch. He's trying to shield off the DB with his left arm, and he tries to one-hand catch it. Go watch the play. He tries to cradle it, and it hits off his back shoulder. The DB didn't touch the ball. On first look, I thought DB had a nice little swipe play. DB never touched the ball. It was a risky play. I understand why you go for it. I don't like it, but I understand why you take the shot. You see your matchup, take it. But that wasn't all on Milroe. I don't see where he's regressed at. If anything, he still the clock hasn't turned on. And for that, I'm gonna give him a C plus too. I'm right there with y'all. And y'all know I'm a big Milroe fan, but it's just the small things early on. He's the key to us getting started early. Yeah. The check downs, taking off when the pressure breaks down early instead of trying to extend for a down the field pass. Let that be at the end of the game when you can conserve your legs some more. But why are you fresh? Use them. Put pressure on the free safeties and the linebackers to get off of coverage and check because that O-line may be struggling and you're beating them by finding the lanes and breaking. So yeah, C plus, but definitely the moment that part sures up, not even progression, because I think he's progressing, making progression in reads. But when the clock speeds up, I think that's going to help the progression part of his game because he'll see things sooner. Quick check down to Jace or Rodell in the flat or Jermaine Burton in the flat with a safety one-on-one on him. Come on, man. Check it down, son. So C plus, B minus, stronger C plus than the B minus. Yeah. Flip it to the defensive side. Oh, we got to do coaching. Tommy Rees. So far this season. Shoot.
I give Tommy Rees, me personally, I give him a C plus as well. I can't give him no B, not yet. I'm not. To give him a B, I would have to see an entire game. At least I hadn't seen a full game yet of satisfying calls. I hadn't. There's always a time when I'm like, what are we doing? And that's just my humble opinion. JMHO, this is my humble opinion. He's not. Tommy Rees has gotten better from one thing I'll give him. He's gotten better. And I understand how it go when you don't know the identity of your offense. You're just trying to find what works, and take practice time along with game time and find some type of what you're good at. I get it. But sometimes, man, he gets a little too 5-widey for me.
Mm-hmm.
He strays. He still, even now, plays will work and come into congruence for us, but he gets a little 5-widey for me for some reason. He gets a little pass happy every once in a while. And so I give him a C+.
Yeah. Miro will do that to you, though. Because when he's hot, you want to ride that. Now you got a chance to get your receivers involved. And then it's just like after the first incompletion, as a third-year play caller on that level, this is my third year ever calling plays. If first incompletion with my new quarterback, we're going back to the run game. I don't care. I don't care how good the play looks.
First one.
The first incompletion after, we're going back to the run game. At least 2 runs. Yeah. We got to, because it's a rhythm thing. If he's not hitting on that one, that means he's not comfortable with the timing right now. Let me settle him down some more. Let me give him, and then the rollout was what helped him in the pass game too. So, Coach Jay, Tommy Rees, great. I'm trying to finish reading his comment. This is kind of funny. With Biggie Bull, his comments are starting to amuse me a little bit. Go ahead, Coach Jay.
No, I gotta give him a C+ as well. I think that for the most part, he's done a solid job when it comes to second half adjustments at times. I think we can look at the Tennessee game. I thought that was a really nice adjustment, working with pre-snap motion and then sticking with it. I thought that was a really, really nice job as well. Of course, I will say this: it will take him a lot longer for him to figure it out, as far as how to get things going, as far as making the immediate adjustments. Like Coach Sean said, we go a little too pass happy at times when we should be running the football, more particularly on goal line stances. I
hope Big Bull was listening to what you just said, Coach Jay.
Yeah, exactly. Bull. Yeah, but like I said, I can't put it all on Tyrese as far as the faults, because like I said before, all season long, Jalen Miro has missed a lot of targets. He's missed a lot of receivers that I think would. I mean, like I said, Bryce Young was like
playback from Coach Smoot when Texas told us.
If Bryce Young was in this offense, we probably would be at least giving him a B+. If Bryce Young was in this offense, if he was passing the football. So, Tom Reese, he's still trying to work some things out, still trying to work out some kinks. But the good thing is that we are slowly but surely progressing. We haven't backtracked in weeks, and that's something that I have really, really liked. Again, I want to see a lot more consistency from this offense. I want to see a complete game from this offense from front to toe. We shouldn't have to be explosive in the first half, and then we slow down in the second half because we're too late of making adjustments, or we start off slow in the first half, but then we get it going in the second half. It should not be that way. We gotta find a way to be more consistent throughout 4 quarters. But overall wise, Tom Reese, he's had a lot. He's had some good things, he's had some bad things, but overall wise, for the most part, we have gotten better.
Right. And Biggie Bull, you got a point. You can't blame player execution on the coordinators, but you can't blame coordinators for not having players in the right position to make plays. And
if I have somebody wide open,
no, I'm not talking about offensively. I'm not talking about offensively. I'm talking about Pete Golden.
Biggie Bull, Arkansas game. Coming out of halftime, run the ball. Everything's going great. We about to score, and we go 5 wide.
5 wide. Yeah.
Biggie Bull, that has nothing to do with player execution. That was a effed up play call.
I mean, and you can't ask 5 wide to block on the goal line. You can't do that. You can't ask 5 wide to get open on the goal line. Like, that's spacing. That's just concept there. Yes, sir. I don't know what he thought, but we haven't seen that mistake again. I'm glad to see that. So he's learning. And for that reason, I'm going to give him a C-, because I want to see the quarterback development. I'm tired of seeing the clock issue with Milroe. If anything, I think Milroe was okay with progression. We saw Milroe's progression started developing. We saw it developing against Middle Tennessee State. We saw it developing. We saw it kind of, if anything, it got matched against Texas. Didn't play USF. Then he has to come back in and kind of rebuild that momentum. I saw that momentum building every game, i.e. Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Texas A&M. Look at those game stats with the passing, even against Arkansas early in the game. Look at those stats. So there's a development factor going on. I'm not going to say C-. I'll say C, a hard C, like a solid C. And that's with the hopes and prayers that he's learned his lesson with how to design and scheme open the run game to help Milroe get settled for the passing game because these wide receivers are hungry. And I believe this last 4-game stretch, we're going to see some productive wide receivers. But that's it for the offense. Let's knock this defense out quickly. I don't think we have many complaints with the defense. We just happy to have Pete Golden gone overall. So let's start from the top. Kevin Steele, what's his grade for this week? For this up until this part of the season? Coach Jay, we're gonna start with you.
A. I'll just get. I have nothing to say. Just an A. You know the reason.
Alabama
why.
A, baby. Look, where's that? Alabama
Yes,
A.
sir.
I see it.
I'm just gotta give him an A. I mean, our overall approach compared to last year is completely different. We're a lot more aggressive. We're a lot more physical. Players are buying into the system. We're finally we haven't rotated since 2017. So and all of a sudden now we're starting to rotate linebackers. We actually might have figured out who that Jahad Campbell might actually be the guy. If this was last year, no, it would have been stuck with Henry T or Henry Sluty. But no, literally Jahad Campbell might have taken the job away from Trezor Marshall, and Trezor Marshall's been a big contributor. Kendrick Blackshire, same thing with Quindarius Robinson. But the most important part is why I'm giving an A, and I might just give him an A+, is our secondary. Our secondary has had less communication issues in the back end this year compared to how it was last year. It was just a mess. It was a complete mess. We made players worse than actually was. You see what DeMarco Hellens is doing with the Atlanta Falcons, looking like a Pro Bowl safety. It's very impressive, and it's super satisfying to see, because that reminds me of old school Bama ball. That reminds me of us winning national three out of the last 4 national titles, 2011 defense. Historically, sorry 2021 Georgia. It's very, very impressive. So I gotta give him at least an A. Gotta give him at least an A.
Right, Coach Sean.
Kevin Steele, A.
Period. Yeah. Period. I'm gonna leave that at an A too. This defense is eerily 2015 feel. Was that 2015 or 2016 we set the record 16 non-offensive touchdowns? We might not be scoring like that.
I think that's 16 with Jonathan Allen and all those guys.
Yeah,
Ruben and
Minka
Reggie.
was a freshman. He was playing star.
Yeah.
So yeah. This they give me them type of feels. Once we get Key more fluid and aggressive on sitting on top and attacking the ball and stop second guessing and waiting for the receiver to catch the ball to break on the ball, he has Eddie Jackson like length, Eddie Jackson like speed, Eddie Jackson like ball playing ability. I want to see him be more confident in it. And that's what assured that secondary up for me. Everybody else is solid. Even Amos, solid. But yeah, Kevin Steele, A. Let's go jump right down to the secondary. I'm gonna give the secondary. I'm simple. Yeah, I gave it a general assessment of the secondary early on in the show. I'm gonna give the secondary A- also, just because. Other than the Texas game, which was just too many snaps, I'm gonna credit it to that. They gave our offense so many opportunities, especially the secondary in that Texas game. This is probably the most complete secondary we have in probably like 5 years, maybe. So I'm gonna give them a solid A-. Coach Sean.
I agree, A-. After seeing Bill O'Brien and see us dropping 8 was our base defense practically. To see us attack, to see us play man and really play man with some help on the front end, A- definitely.
Hold up, before we even go, can somebody talk about this? Oh, this dude is really buying on this player execution thing. Bill O'Brien was a head coach and an OC in the NFL and had no immediate impact on how that success was even brought about.
Let me get at him, Coach Moot. Let me explain something to you, Biggie Bull. The NFL game and the college game is totally different. Totally different.
And that's
you understand that? The NFL game is strictly based, unless you're the Miami Dolphins, on moving the chains. Plays are set up to move the chains 10 yards if you can get it. The college game is about space, bro. It's about space. That's why you see scores 52-48 in college and 21-17 in the pros. Bill O'Brien, his structure was a pro structure. His third and long calls was eerily different than Sark's third and long calls. Even if it's the same play, it's a different formation. Bill O'Brien is a pro coach. I don't take nothing from him. He's a pro coach, but he is not a college coach. Let me make sure I understand that.
His and the concepts are totally different from last year. I tried to highlight this earlier in the season. Everybody's highlighting our wide receivers. The only difference between last year's concepts and how to run this offense and this year is you get into similar sets, you're getting similar plays. We're seeing more 12 man, of course, but you're getting into similar plays and routes, but it's more decisive because the receiver is not being told, four receivers not being told, make your decision in your route.
Exactly.
It's two receivers being told.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? You're never going to find success at the college level to have 4-5 option routes on the field at one time. That is crazy. Bryce Young may be able to decipher that, but you can't tell me that every receiver on every pass play, as much as we used to pass the ball, knew exactly what to do when they got in phase. You can't. It showed. It showed. And so you see Tommy Rees, he simplified it, and that's why we see the wide receiver production. So we're on the defensive side, though. Had to just get that out of there. Biggie Bull tripping. Might be still smoking on that cigar. I don't know what he doing. But Coach Jay, you gave your assessment on the secondary. Did you give your assessment on the secondary? Did we go around?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move down to the linebackers, man, because this is probably the most exciting group on the defense to me, honestly. The type of havoc they create. Coach Sean, give us your grade, man.
Man, after last year, and no disrespect to Henry Told, man, but they was asking him to do something that kid just wasn't built to do. I give this linebacker core an A+ off the rip. This is the most physical, most well-prepared linebacking core I've seen since Ruben and Reggie as a whole, not one linebacker, as a whole. You ain't gonna just line up and run. These guys feel, and they feel with violent intentions. They don't feel and get turned. They don't feel with their eyes closed. They don't feel and they feel. Any linebacker that plays in the middle has to feel with violent intentions. Even if you don't make the tackle, you feel and you make that pulling guard or whoever it is that you make him pay.
Remember,
you make him pay, and this linebacking core does that. A+ for me.
Yeah, and just to highlight what you said, even if you don't make the tackle, you make that whoever steps in that hole, in that gap, you make them pay, because now when guards are pulling, they'll
think about that. Yes,
they're
sir.
looking before they even get to the hole. Most aggressive guards, aggressive linemen, when they pull, they're not caring about what's in the hole. They just know they got to make that hole. Mm-hmm. When you got guards looking, when they pulling, and instead of looking in their lane, they're looking upfield trying to find the guy to see, is he coming hard in that hole? Pause. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you got it. They gonna think about it. But yeah, Coach Jay, linebacker group. I'm sorry, y'all. This defense gets me excited, man. We haven't seen this in years, man. This feels good.
I got to give it an A++. Like Coach Sean just kept saying, man. It's just the physicality. I mean, yes, we've had some solid linebacking cores, but not like this. We haven't had this yet since Reggie Ragland. Since Ruben and those guys. I mean, this is Sean Dion Hamilton. Shout out to him. It's incredible, man. We literally have 4 linebackers that can start anywhere in the country. Trezor Marshall again. I mean, like I said, he's a phenomenal blitzer. Can defend the run game well. Not that great in pass coverage. And then all of a sudden, you think about this for a second. Jahad Campbell, I think he's 5th on the team in tackles. Mm-hmm. And he only started 2 games. Only 2 games, and he's 5th on the team in tackles. So that we are just super deep, super versatile. Justin Jefferson he's been a special teams killer. He's been a special teams monster. On the coverage unit. So I'm super happy about this group. Kendrick Blackshire, Campbell, Deontay Lawson. You can make an argument. Deontay Lawson. I said this back in I think week 1 or week 2. Might be the slowest linebacker on the team. And that's not even saying something because he's got speed. So it's just a phenomenal sight to see, man. It's just a phenomenal sight to see.
It's great to see Alabama linebackers that look like they used to carry watermelons in their book bag. You know what I'm saying? Like they carried extra books that they never read, like for all their life. Like you talking about the size of these guys, Dallas Turner, Chris Braswell, Quindarius Robinson. He's a little smaller than those guys, but he's stocky, man. Then you get what I'm saying? And then you got Justin Jefferson. He's not as bulky, but this dude is shredded and fast. He's a muscle. It's like having a taller Kendrick Law on the defensive side when you talk about X factor ability. I mean, Kendrick Blackshire, man-child since high school. You remember the viral post of him in his uniform at Duncanville This linebacker group A plus plus plus. I'm gonna give the third plus since y'all gave him 1 and 2, and I'm gonna give him the third one because this linebacker group is elite, man. I'm going to stand by that. Because it's not just 5 stars. They're not riding the stars anymore. This group is hungry, and I can't wait to see guys like Keely get out there and get some burn. Guys like Yanzi Pierre, guys like Sean Murphy, who I see his energy on that sideline. He's not going anywhere. I had concerns because I felt like he would be up before Campbell, but he's right there. He's right there, ready to get in that rotation. And Kevin Steele's going to find a way to implement these guys over the next few weeks, I believe. But I do like this 3-man rotation at linebacker, even when we drop a guy, whether that's Marshall went out, Lawson went out. Blackshire's the perfect 4th man up, for first man up for that 3-man rotation. So this linebacker group A plus plus. Drop down to the defensive line. And when I say defensive line, we're going end to end. Defensive end meaning Otis and crew, and the tackles Keenan and crew. Let's. What's your grade on that, Coach Jay?
I'm gonna give it an A. Biggest adjustment of the year was by putting Tim Keenan at that one technique, especially in pass rush situations. Man, it is amazing. Because all of a sudden Otis is back at end, and all of a sudden he's having an All-American type season. Justin Agbobi, he's right back in the form like how it was last year before he got hurt. During those first 5 games, we're starting to have a little bit more of a deeper rotation. You're starting to see James Smith and Payne and a lot of these other guys. They're starting to be incorporated into it as well. And I'm starting to see that hunger of them trying to get back on the field as well. But Timothy Smith, this is, probably his best season. And Timothy Smith, for the most part, we always knew he had very extremely high potential. We all knew his potential was extremely high. He's having a really good season this far. And again, the biggest reason why I got to give him again, because at first maybe a B plus, but then all of a sudden Tim Keenan's and you insert him in there, man, and he has changed life for that Alabama defensive line. They're versatile. They can get after the quarterback. They can rush from the interior. They can defend the run game extremely well. And then you combine that with our linebackers, and then you combine that with our secondary, which also can play the run game extremely well. It's just, man, it's a great sight to see. But no, Tim Keenan is the biggest difference maker in my personal opinion for that defensive line this year.
Correct. And I think his emergence has allowed those guys behind him to also grow, because even when he had to go out for, I think it was like 2 or 3 plays, I didn't see a let up. I didn't see any change. I saw just this, not as quick, but I saw the same type of stout interior hold up that we were used to, that interior wall that we have become accustomed to seeing. I want to highlight something before you go, Coach Jay. Y'all funny when y'all talk about Eboigbe, man. When we was talking about, man, if he could just wake up, it was times in this game, in this season where we were like, does Eboigbe, like, does he want to be there? Is he still scared? So I was able to talk with his defensive line coach from high school. We played ball together at Faulkner, and we kind of was chilling, and JE called him, and he was like, yeah, man. He was like, my boy, they hype about this Tennessee game, man. And he told me, he was like, man, Tennessee, I don't think they're gonna be ready for these boys. My boy said this is first week he been able to go 100% in the weight room, and he had to get pulled out the field during practice because he's just throwing his body around. And when you go and look at that game, we haven't seen Eboigbe stand a block up and make a play off of standing, shedding a block in so long. Strong.
Texas A&M, I believe.
He slipped into that one, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? This one, he was intentional. This game, he was intentional. So, yeah, man, it was good to see that guy and to know that he's healthy, because that nerve damage is different, man. When he doing this pressure ball squeeze, they was letting him play with 98%, 97%. This week is the first time every day was 100%. They gauging his strength in that his nerves, how it's triggering, 100% every day this week. So it's good to hear that news about him, and definitely saw the impact on the D-line. So, Coach Sean, take it away. You're great for the D-line, man.
I give him an A minus, only because every once in a while a running back will squirt loose. You know what I mean? Every once in a while they'll get, I'm being picky. I'm being picky.
It's hard to be picky with them because them your boys, ain't they?
Yeah, man, I'm being picky, bro. I could easily say A plus. If you base it off how we played last year with DJ Dale and those guys and Byron Young, I think this team is playing way better, just way better up front. There were so many times I like DJ. That's my brother. I love him. I know DJ personally. There were so many times DJ would get that combo and he would just get taken completely out of the play, just knocked completely off the line of scrimmage, erased, as we call it. I don't see that happening a lot right now, man. I don't down blocking. I don't see none of that working on this defensive line. I would say our linebackers complement our defensive line greatly, and vice versa. So I'll give them an A+, man. I'm gonna stick with the A+. Forget it, cause I can't find really nothing to pick with them about really. So I'm gonna give them an A+, man. Whole defense, actually, to me.
Yeah, A+, like I said, and like across the board, when you average it out, it ends up as an A+ because this defense has yet to really be exposed. And we don't give them a pass, but we give them a pass for that Texas game. 80-something snaps.
That was early.
And it's early. You still figuring out you got true freshmen here, transfer guys here, first year starter.
We almost won
here.
That game too.
And we
almost won that game.
2 scores were taken away. Even if they give us our 2 scores, we still win by 4 in that game. So it's not anything against the offense or anybody. This team is really developing. That's what I want y'all to see. Our the first grades we gave week 3, I believe. I think the offense averaged out to a C-, and that was because the wide receivers saved them with the A effort and the running backs was B, and then the defense was still in the same area. We was giving same praises to this defense. So I love how we all can see the growth. We can see everything happening. So as we close out, we don't have any predictions because y'all know this is the bye week. Just get ready to tune in for next week because we're going to dive into this LSU matchup. It was hard for us not to jump on top of it tonight because you all just keep ringing about Alabama, LSU. Hey, enjoy this week, man. Continue to smoke them if you got them. They smoked them for 365 days. Every day they could, they was telling us. So y'all smoke them if you got them, man, and enjoy the win as a fan base. And like Coach Saban said, man, this fan base really contributed to this win, especially at the end of the game. So positivity goes a long way. And as we close out, man, Coach Jay, tell the people where they can find you, man.
Man, you can find me at Gent Sports on YouTube. If you want to see a more uncensored version and me trolling Tennessee fans, I'll be doing this all week. Follow me at Gent Sports. Of course, Twitter, Gent716 as well. Kind of the exact same things. Been fun over there. Man, it's been a really, really great Saturday. Great Saturday. Of course, great. It's going to be a phenomenal week. I can just sit back, chill. I'll be watching a lot of Tennessee podcasts, watching them make excuses about referees. So I can't wait for that. Matter of fact, I'll be doing that as soon as we're done with this. It's just a great time. It's just a very, very great time, man. Like I said, if you got the cigars, continue to smoke them. Continue to troll Tennessee fans if you have the chance, because that's what they were doing last year. Kept trolling us for weeks, despite them literally getting blown up by Georgia. What do they do? Still continue to troll Alabama fans. So let's just try to hit them back with the exact same thing with the karma. And then after when this week's over, we can focus on LSU. That's our opponent, and hopefully that's going to be a great game. But I can't wait to get into that because I've been watching a lot of LSU film as well, and it's going to be a really, really fun match. Really fun matchup.
Very fun. If you're a competitive fan, you're gonna enjoy this LSU game. If we have a slow start, that's what I believe. If we have a fast start, it's gonna get ugly. Coach Sean, tell the people where they could find you and the big announcement, bro.
You guys can first find me right here on Bama Football on YouTube with Kyle and Coach Moog and Coach Jay. Whenever we're on our post-game shows as well as Monday Night Quarterback. Coach Smoot, Coach J, these guys have aided me in creating the Twitter page now. If you guys want to tap in with it, I would appreciate it. Just learning social media. I had a job that frowned on social media, so I'm just really getting my feet in it. And it is at JMHO Sports. The JMHO is just my humble opinion. JMHO Sports on Twitter, at JMHO Sports. Tap in with it if you guys get a chance. I appreciate you all, and we're gonna get better and better and better with this, man. And everybody tap in.
All right, yes, sir. And y'all already know where y'all can find your boy Coach Smook, man. It's at Coach Smook on every platform, YouTube, Facebook,
kick.com, the new live streaming platform for it's all types of content over there. But I do keep the variety content going over there, reactions. We've been doing the college football headset talk. The chat is starting to fill up. We're getting more members in the Discord. So also I did want to go ahead and Kyle said it would be fun. So I wanted to share this with you all for people that like to talk college football on Saturdays in a good space where you have unbiased, takes and different things. I have a Discord group. It's an app you can download. It's kind of like GroupMe. You come in there and you join up. And you'll see some of the interactions between the gaming side and everybody that I kind of do my business with content. But we talk a lot of college football, and there's different fans. You get different perspectives. You could join that chat. I just posted it with the page handle here, and it's on Discord. You guys join in. Start dropping some of your comments in there. Some of your takes, some of your topics you want to see. Coach Jay and Coach Sean, they're in there. They're getting acquainted with it. But we'll start taking that into consideration. We definitely want to continue to be involved with you all and give you what you're trying to hear, or give you our takes of what you're trying to hear. So this team is, like I said, every week, man, we got something special here. We're going to continue to grow. And once again, shout out to Kyle and Bama Football on YouTube, Kyle Henderson, man. You appreciate you, brother. We kind of took the show over tonight because we know it's a bye week. We just want to give a chance for you all to just relish in this, man. This was a great win for us. It wasn't the prettiest the first 12 minutes and 37 seconds, but from that point on, man, it was a beautiful game. And if we can continue to build on that momentum, this team is going to be dangerous. So go ahead, brother.
Jonathan Hurst, much appreciated, brother. Roll Tide.
For sure. Shout out to the regulars that's pulling through. Jonathan Hurst. Jeff Stapleton, I see you pulled up kind of late. Ephraim came in. I just seen you. Ephraim. Carla, you always in here. Who else? Roll Tide to all the regulars, man.
Jeff.
We got Gelato, Jeff.
Shout the dude.
Yeah, Travelpreneur. All my peoples, man. Everybody. Oh yeah, shouts out to this show too, man. We got a shout out from one of my personal partners. He's a personal partner and a former Alabama DB, great DB, played on the national championship team. Daquan Menzie, he stops in and drops in on our show. There's content on another Bama channel, but definitely sends his congrats and his giving his flowers to what we do, guys. So I look, even though that's my brother, like a brother to me, to get that type of credibility from a guy that's played in that program and played under Saban, was part of a championship pedigree type era and everything. Like to hear that our takes and things that we're saying are really spot on and match up with what a lot of the alumni and the locker room is saying, and former coaches, guys who were there as coaches, grad assistants, whatever. He comes to our shows and comes to this show, and we get the acknowledgement, man. So y'all continue to support us on Twitter, man. It's not that we're trying to be bigger than anybody, but I think we got a lot to say, and what we got to say, it matters. It makes sense. So I appreciate my brothers always for joining us, coming together, and we doing the show together. And at the end of the day, man, y'all know what it is. It's Roll Tide, baby.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
We out, man.